1997, it's DCI's 25th anniversary and DisneyWorld's 25th anniversary. We're back in Orlando, so you know there's going to be all kind of pomp and pageantry surrounding these championships. There was a lot of excitement. Remember back on the 91 DVD, I mentioned the Dow breaking 3,000 for the first time. Well, this year it breaks 7,000 and continues its relatively meteoric rise. A couple of technological things happened this year. There was a successful cloning of a sheep in Britain, hello Dolly, and a chess match that captivated the world. IBM's Deep Blue computer takes on chess grandmaster Garry Kasparov. The computer wins. There was an accident overseas in Paris that sent the world, much of it, into mourning. Princess Di and her boyfriend, Dodi Fayed, killed in a crash overnight in Paris. The measure of how that touched us found in the Elton John single, Candle in the Wind. It was a tribute, and it became the highest-selling single in history. At the movie theater, Titanic became the highest-grossing film of all time, and on the football field, the Blue Devils used another movie theme to take yet another title, Sweetheart.
Terrible Bogart impression.
Well, thankfully, the Devils did it better.
They did indeed. They took Casablanca, all the Turkish and Moroccan themes that you could think of that surround that beautiful story, and they expanded into a show. The color guard is very evocative. You almost can see Ingrid Bergman in it, Claude Rains. But what's exceptional is how they weave rhythm and emotion into the same storyline. It's a narrative show without it feeling like you're being told a story. It's a great way of capturing emotion without necessarily lecturing the audience. So they take the darkness that they had had previously and add it to romance, and bang, you have got their 9th championship.
But they were being pushed along the way during the season.
Well, you got to admit that the Cadets of Bergen, their longtime rival, right up in there with a beautiful Philip Sparks show. And in fact, the weeks right before, they were tying each other every other night. But the Devils were not going to hear about ties, having in 96 tied the Phantom Regiment. Here they are, and they're not buying ties. They win one on their own.
Now, Santa Clara also makes a comeback of sorts this year.
This is a great year for Santa Clara. You know, we haven't heard about them. We talk about the quality of character and the triumph of identity, and here's a perfect case where that happens. Santa Clara Vanguard reinvents themselves. It's not new. It's a complete change for them in the sense that they grab the best of what they did. Revolutionary, change, cutting edge Santa Clara, and they bring it back in a different way, and everybody goes, Santa Clara's back. This is the year that they make that announcement. Phantom Regiment identity, showing they dig really deep. They not only do an all Wagner show, they do The Ring. Take Forth with it. So they're doing fairly well with these kinds of things. Crossman established Birdland as an all-time drum corps hit.
Now, that may have been the toe tapper of the year.
It is the toe tapper of the year. For me, my personal favorite, the Pirates of Lake Mendota from the Madison Scouts, Adventure on the High Seas of Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's a stretch, but they made it work.
We had a lot of fun with that one.
1997, what an anniversary year.
Welcome back to the Marching Arts Network. My name is the Stressmaster. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Really do appreciate it. Once again, if you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. It only takes a second. You just hit that subscribe button and set your notifications so you get notified when we have cool videos like the one you're watching right now. And excuse the noise, my cats are here, so they're making a lot of noise in the background. But anyway, so we're talking about 1997. This is the second year in Orlando. This is the 25th anniversary of DCI, big celebration, and also the 25th anniversary of Disney World. So it was two things happening at the same time. And also my 25th birthday, because I was born the year DCI was founded, like a lot of people that I marched with and aged out in 93. So another historic year. I was not here for this season, but I was able to watch it after the fact, and there's some fantastic shows in here. Oh my goodness. Blue Devils, just amazing show. Cadets, Vanguard, Phantom, Madison Scouts, Crossmen, Cavaliers, Glassmen, Blue Knights, Magic of Orlando, Blue Coats, and Carolina Crown round out the bottom 12. So very interesting, because now they're always in the top, right? You just never know what's going to happen when Corps come on the scene or start developing, you're going to see the rise and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. So the show that I picked for this year was not only a crowd favorite, it was my favorite too. I love this show. And unfortunately, I did not get to really enjoy it until much later, like probably in the 2000s and like 15s or something like that. So about 10 years ago, I really wasn't like onto the show as much. I was more into the Blue Devils show. I love that show. Such a great show for them. Fantastic show. But the show that I picked for this year was Madison Scouts, Pirates of Lake Mendota. Such a great freaking show. Fun, typical Madison, but not typical Madison at the same time. I think they are actually pushing the edge on this show in terms of actually creating a show, like in terms of like theatrics. They had, you know, a lot of story going on. They really visualized the story extremely well with minimal props, minimal things, but it really captured the essence of what the show was about. So I think they did a phenomenal job. I got to speak to Scott Stewart, who was the director of the Corps at the time, and we talked about this show. We talked about its development, how a lot of original music was written for the show. It was so cool. If you have not seen that, I'm going to put it up here in the corner here. Go back and watch that interview with Scott Stewart. Just a fantastic man. Really led the Madison Scouts through the 80s and 90s into this just amazing realm of show that they were able to pull off. So I can't wait to watch it with you guys. So here we go. Excuse me. So cool. Like just the storytelling elements, just by simple. I mean, that's a great looking prop, don't get me wrong. And then they have the sails come up, the mast, the Jolly Roger. Just fantastic playing. Holy crap, dudes. Look at that drill. Look how clean that is. Just great playing. Listen to that playing. Nice. Rifles, man. Really on point. Just amazing marching always. They always have the best marching technique. The toes, the backup technique. Really great playing. Like, listen to the dynamic control. I like this drill move. Crazy. Look at this drill. Just simple follow the leader stuff in the block. I've actually stolen that move before. Unwind, so cool. Look at that. It'll be interesting to see the visual scores because, man, they were really good. And we're going to look at the recaps when we're done here because their visual is just so good. They're so clean. Look at the intervals. Like I said, the storytelling, just by simple things like this, just really And there was no pirates on Lake Mendota. I mean, it was just supposed to be a comedy thing, and it worked for them. Getting real liquid in there. Sorry, I gotta take a drink of something. Look how good they look. Just cleanliness. This is my favorite, one of my favorite parts. So cool. Oh man. I miss the 90s, as you can tell. I like today too, but there's something about the 90s, man. Still on G Bugle. I don't care what you say. You guys can argue with me. Maybe we can have a debate on G Bugle versus B flat. I might do a video on that. Because, man, the G Bugle, I'm sorry, is superior. Tone quality, volume, the ability to stay in tune. I mean, they're playing in, like, some serious humidity, and they still sound great. Dang, and they're moving while playing that. Just great playing. Look at those toes, man. Just some of the years I taught marching, I say just go watch some videos of Madison Scouts, and that's what I want your toes to look like, because it just has this great look to it, you know, this nice flow and movement. That's so cool. Look at that. It's like a wave. Oh man. Really well done. Really well done. Love it. color guard's so amazing. Damn. Oh yeah, I remember this rack thing here. So in the interview, Scott Stewart, he talks about this rack, and I thought it was one of the coolest things in the show. You're like on top of it, jumping off of it. Have cough going on here. Just a fun show. Must have had a blast performing that show. I would. I'd have a blast performing it. Look how clean that company front is. My goodness. Oh, watch this part coming up here. This is the cool part. Oh, they cut it. They don't show the drum major. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, show the drum major. Hold on, he's not done. They're just holding the note out. So awesome. How clean. My goodness, they're so dang clean. Damn. Ay, 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 ay. Wow. So dang good. I'm going to probably put up a video talking about that moment, if I can find it, where the end of the show where they just hold that cord out forever, the drum major turns around. So I'll try to find it in the video and put it in here so you're probably gonna see it like right now. To me, that was a Madison. We're pirates or whatever, we're here and we're gonna,
It's interesting the way that started. That was 1997. My color guard teacher at the time was Chad Dugan. And he came to me at the end of the season and said, I think we should do a pirate show next year. I said, okay, let me think about it. And the thing is, I went looking for music then. I was afraid at first I felt, man, I don't know if we can find enough different kinds of music to make this the way we generally are happy putting a show together. But I lucked into a couple of things. First of all, two of my staff members wanted to write an original piece. So I told one, go ahead and start writing it, and we'll work through that and see how that goes. And then one day he had sent me the first part of it and it was going to be great. But then one of my other staff members brought in something. He said, take, like, I want to play this for you. And he had written a piece that he said he probably should use for the closer. And it was the one we did use. Fantastic. And so there we had that. And I took the one that I had my original staff member, Scott Borma, write for an opener. So it was the opener and a closer were originals. In the middle of the show, the pieces were both British brass band pieces that I had just lucked upon because the guy that was interested in the Corps said, hey, have you ever heard this British brass band stuff? I said, I'd like to hear a lot of it. So he gave me a bunch. And one of the pieces in there was the second number that we did. And that was the one with the drunken sailor. Mm. The guy that staggered all around the field and they did the between the legs thing and passed the rifle off.
Yeah. That was just, I mean, there's just so much. I think the coolest part is when you have the drum rack
Oh yeah.
And it swivels around. You have the two guys on top sword
Right.
fighting, and then they just jump off. They just go,
Yeah.
and we're jumping. And I was like, oh man, that was.
Well,
And you saw my reaction and everything to it, but it to me, and what was funny is I had only listened to the show. I'd never seen the video of the show up until I watched it right then, because I had, we didn't have YouTube 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Right.
So I just had my tape and then my CD, and I'd burn it, and I had 97, and I just loved the heck out of that show. So it was kind of like, I guess I was like a kid again, because I got to see such an amazing thing happen. That's just what I love so much about drum corps. That's what a lot of people love about drum corps, is that you could just create this thing that you put out to the world, and just everybody loves it, or they don't love it, or they, it's controversial or whatever it is, but it's still drum corps. It's the essence of drum corps, good or bad or indifferent, whether it's controversial, not controversial, fun. And I think that's one thing that Madison's always been able to kind of handle really well, is just, we're here to perform. We're here to please the crowd. That's our job. That's what we're here to do. Whether or not we score well, oh well.
Pretty much so, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
There's a couple of things that were from the 97 show that are really humorous. One of them is the rack that you were talking about, the rotating rack. When we went and did that, in first place, me and my percussion guy, Jeff Moore, he was talking about it. It was his idea to do that. And I said, fine. And we went out and we bought a shitload of material for it to put it together. Anyhow, he had made a mistake when he put down the dimensions of it. And so what happened was, we got to Memorial Day camp and the truck pulled in, and the truck driver comes up and he goes, man, do you know how much metal we've got in the back of this thing? And we went back into the semi and started unloading it. And it was like, oh my God, we could never have carried this stuff around. And I said, Jeff, what is this? And he got so sheepish right away, and he went in and worked on it all night. He had ordered twice as much as we needed. So you saw how big that thing was to begin with. Imagine having raw materials for something twice that big. It was like, well, we'd have to get another truck to pull it. So that was kind of funny. The other one was, we had a tradition of the day of the final show. The Corps would kind of prank the staff, and that note at the end of the 97 show that they hold out for 25 seconds while the drum major's taking the picture and holding the flag up, that they did that afternoon. We weren't ready for it. I mean, we were doing our final runs for the year. All of a sudden we get to that note, and instead of cutting off after 8 counts or 12 counts, it just kept going and going, and we were cracking up. We finished it up, and I looked at the rest of the staff and said, that's going in tonight. And they're like, no, we can't do this. I said, yes, we can. And we pulled it off, and it was great. I mean, really funny.
That to me is very epic, because and I'm glad you brought that up, because that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. It's just kind of like, they just kept holding it forever, and the tone quality never dipped.
Right. You're right.
They just played right through, no problem, nothing, no drop. You couldn't hear any drop. It's just, that was so. All right, well, tell me what your guys' thoughts were in the comments below. But man, what another mind-blowing show for the Madison Scouts. I mean, this whole decade, they just produced some amazing shows. I mean, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98. I don't remember what they did in 99, but they're all, the whole decade, just amazing shows. Let's pull up the recaps, because I do want to take a look at the recaps here. I just thought it's just such a crazy, like season. It was more clear cut than 96. I mean, 96, like I said, we had two ties for first and for eighth. This is more clear cut. You can see it's 98-4 for the Blue Devils, and they deserved it. They were freaking good, just playing magically that year, just great. You can see here that GE wise though, Cadets actually beat them with a 39.6. Wow. Okay, that's quite a bit of difference there. 0.5 of a point in GE music and visual. 29.4 to 29.7 in ensemble, and then performance visual, they got them by a point. So that's really what kind of did there. But let's focus on the Madison Scouts. So the Madison Scouts, 38-6. So only 5/10 behind Blue Devils in general effect. 1 point behind Cadets. So also Vanguard tied in effect here. And you can see that they and Madison deserved it. They were so freaking good. Just a great show. Ensemble, let's see what they got. They got a 28. Okay. Music and visual. I don't agree with that at all, but okay. And here, look at this. 9-4, 9-0, 9-0. So 27-4. I don't agree with this at all. Once again, I'm not a judge, but I think they, yeah, I mean, I don't think so. Here's 27-4 to 28-1. I mean, I think they were really, really good. But once again, I haven't really watched all these shows and analyzed them. But okay, so they got 5th place, 94-0, 2/10 behind Phantom. And look at this jump, 2.7 here. And then from there to first place is 4.4 points. So, wow, great year. All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining me on this series. I really do appreciate it. Please subscribe if you have not done so. And then please also make sure that you visit our page where you can look at different options for supporting this channel. We have memberships. We also have our store where you can go and buy merchandise. We have some great stuff on there, so please check it out. Please support the channel. We would really appreciate it because throughout this summer, every week, we're going to be producing lots of content. You're probably seeing this content sometime during the week here. But we have our podcast every weekend. We're going to be doing that every Saturday or Sunday. We might move it to Sundays so that way we can get scores from Saturdays. So you're still going to probably see that coming up on a Sunday evening. So please support this channel. We would really appreciate it. We would like to keep growing and keep being a part of this wonderful marching arts community. Well, thank you so much for watching. We truly do appreciate it. Look forward to 1998, which is coming up very, very soon. And please be sure that you always march on.